We've taken a look at these different perspectives and how they intersect with this life, and to ask some questions. Do I have permission to speak with my soul?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And do I have permission to ask lots of different questions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for being so present, for bringing forward all of this information, for putting it into perspective. I know you could have brought forward an infinite number of perspectives, and you brought forward these. So I'm curious why you were showing what you were showing her, why you brought forward these perspectives, starting with that I am, that godlike perspective of everything. Why was it important to experience that?
As she needs to know who she is and what
Mm-hmm.
she's not.
Mm-hmm. What is she not?
She's not everything that she reduces herself to.
Mm-hmm.
The power that resides inside her is phenomenal, and she doesn't know it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for giving her that glimpse. What will this awareness allow her to do?
To step into her power. She's so divinely supported and more connected than she understands. She's so afraid of succeeding or the power that she has. She's afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
She's so afraid of it.
Where does that fear come from? From experience?
Yeah, experience with using her powers as greatly as she can, but her life in general, she doesn't believe in herself because nobody's really shown belief in her.
Mm-hmm. You showed her a pattern of these orbits. Does that have to do with human relationships, or is that more mechanical? What was important about that pattern that she became aware of?
It's all encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
That orbit is in every foundation, in every aspect of existence.
Mm-hmm.
It's a balance. It's a give and take, harmonious.
And I'm curious, is it that harmony that's also the basis of contrast? How does the contrast play in with the harmony?
Well, it's dualistic, but it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's uh mm, like a boomerang,
Mm-hmm.
or because everything is always coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is always in motion. So there's the sameness, and then there's the contrast. There's the ebb and there's the flow, the push, pull. But as it comes around, there's always a center
Mm-hmm.
of being in the middle, balance.
Yeah, I use that in this lifetime.
By trying to stay grounded and stay in that neutral state of being, it takes an extreme amount of awareness to be able to stay in that state of alignment.
What does that state of alignment allow us to do?
The center of gravity, it's like a higher vantage point, like a bird flying in the sky. You get the full view, and you can eventually come in closer. But the closer you get, it caps off your ability to have a broader spectrum understanding. So the full picture isn't being seen.
That would be our individual perception or our ego.
Yeah.
As one example, anyway.
The individual perception, but it's that's the mind gets tricky.
The mind, how we navigate which awareness to adopt, whether we relax into the collective or come to the forefront.
Yeah, the mind gets tricky by way of a range of awareness, lack of awareness to awareness.
Yeah.
So coming back up into awareness to get the full picture.
Almost like going from that one perspective of everything into that little girl's perspective of just nothing, that one room, the darkness.
Yeah.
We got a lot of clients experience that contrast, going from that collective or that bigger perspective and coming into this denser reality. They describe it as fairly traumatic experience going from one to the other. How can we make these experiences more comfortable as we're in this somewhat dense experience of Earth?
Mm,
Or are we supposed to make them more comfortable? What advice do you have?
just like words,
Mm-hmm.
hear them, but take them with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Every experience is just that, an experience. Like words are words. The higher awareness can keep the emotions not completely out of the way, but just
Mm-hmm.
enough to where it can make the experience of any situation a little more comfortable.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like we can use those emotions as opposed to be swayed so much by the emotions themselves.
Yeah, not being stuck in the emotion, but passive about the emotion and recognition of the emotion,
Mm-hmm.
but not remaining in it or being it or remaining stuck in it.
You can feel it, observe it, detach from it. She wanted to know more about her own purpose as an Akashic healer. What does that mean for her? How does she get started? Or how does she expand from where she is now?
Going within more
Mm-hmm.
and discovering, not really discovering because it's always there,
Yeah.
fostering the abilities that she has
Mm-hmm.
and expanding on that.
How would you describe her particular abilities? What's her focus? What's her flavor? What's she learning about and sharing?
I'd say there's aspects that need fine tune, but if she honing in on the current abilities already mentioned
Mm-hmm.
and practicing them more, she can begin there.
I'm curious, as we encompass everything, as she feels that I am energy, what are important about what we might call the circumstances or the limitations that she's experienced in this lifetime? Why did she choose to come into this? sense reality.
To realize her power.
How do you see her using that power in the future or in other dimensions?
Oh, she's magnificent in other dimensions, but she holds herself back in the earthly dimension.
How do you see that evolving over, say, the next year?
Her building her confidence and having an unabashingly fuck you attitude.
And we try to, I think, sometimes help quote unquote humans and we forget we're one of them. So she sounds like she can prioritize herself as much as anybody else, or at least put herself on that chart.
And put herself first.
Put herself first. Good.
And she'll be just fine.
Yeah, and the world will be just fine too, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's going to help her do that? Can you remind her to keep doing that?
Yeah. It's reminders here and there. And catching them when they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Keep talking, keep checking in, keep journaling, gratitude, and more meditation. Just a simple foundation, simple basics, getting back to the basics.
And I want to get ready to wind down, wrap up the session. But before we do, what's important for her to know before we go?
To stop playing so small. Reach deep down. And just be fearless.
That part of what we might call the Earth mission?
Yeah, she's in her own way. Just step back and enjoy everything that's going on. And just be her.
Sounds like it gets easier as it goes.
Yes.
And now as your energy body comes back to your physical form, we thank all those parts and they recede into the background.